everyone. I hope everyone's having a good day or as good of a day as possible. And today we're going to be talking about TOMIE. We need to talk about TOMIE. We have to. I'll get into that. Hold on one second. Testing. So I'm going to start off and give a little background about who TOMIE is. So TOMIE is a character from Junji Ito's collection, and I believe she pops up in episode 13A and 13B. It's a two-parter. So yeah, she's a very special, interesting character with a crazy, deep, dark backstory, and we're going to get into that. Her lore is pretty dark, really dark. Disturbing, and I'm just gonna say trigger warning. Excuse my shades, they're overly active over here. I might close the windows if it gets too crazy or distracting. So yeah, hold on. Alright, I hope that's better. It's kind of distracting. Wanna get into what we're talking about today, not focus on curtains. I've watched this series about a year or two ago. Maybe 2 years ago, maybe longer than that, but I rewatched it in order to analyze the episode, analyze TOMIE and how she behaved and how other people behaved around her, how they treated her, how she treated other people. So I rewatched it, and this was heavier than I remember, and I didn't get to the second episode yet. I will be talking about that episode too, but I'm on the first episode because I was shook. After that first episode, yeah, I was shook. Like, wow. It got really dark really fast. So again, trigger warning. I was thinking about adding some clips into the video, but I might not. I think it might be too graphic. So, episode 13A, it starts off with TOMIE being dead and her whole classroom grieving her. Yeah, her and the teachers and the students were all grieving her, talking about her, dressed in all black, basically showing their condolences, I guess. And she comes back in the classroom like nothing's happening. Like nothing happened. She's fine. She didn't die. She just walks in and says hi. And everybody's shook, confused, and just disturbed. Especially the teacher. And he was really mad. And he pulled her to the side and asked, "Is this some sick joke? Does she have a twin sister or something? What is this?" And she says no. She's back. She's fine. Like nothing happened. And everyone's in shock. And eventually the teacher starts spazzing out to the point where they had to contain him because he wasn't relaxing. It was abnormal how angry and spazzy he was. And shortly after, they transitioned to a clip of them at a field trip. They were by, I believe it was a lake, and it was a field of grass and stuff like that, and there was a bridge and even like hills and things of that sort, because I believe they're on top of a hill or a cliff. TOMIE skips to a clip with TOMIE and the teacher being on top of the hill and the cliff, and come to find out she was being statutorily raped by the teacher. And they're discussing it. She's talking to him about it, and she tells him that she's pregnant. This is just one layer of madness. Just the beginning. There's so much more that happens in a short period of time, and it makes my head spin. This is why we need to talk about this. They basically started arguing. The teacher is not really receptive to hearing that. And a student, a boy, walks up to them while they're having this conversation on that hill. And it happens to be a boy that likes TOMIE. And TOMIE is basically an it girl. Super pretty, popular, smart, just an it girl, stereotypical it girl, right? He ended up having a crush on her, and he overhears what they're talking about. And he gets mad and fussy, like, what are you doing? They start arguing, and he ends up pushing her off the cliff. He pushes her off the cliff or the hill, and she's unalived. The only second layer of the madness, things spiral very quickly. It's insane. I'm still kind of in shock talking about it because, wow, okay. Everyone gathers around and see that Tomie is on the floor, not breathing. So the boy immediately wants to call the ambulance. And the teacher stops him. Says, wait. Says, wait. Don't do that. And then students start co-signing what the teacher said. Like, no, don't call the ambulance. That, oh, you're gonna ruin your life. As if that girl's life wasn't just weird, obscure, sickening. I don't understand the thought process, but it continues. And more students say that she was stuck up, she deserved it, don't ruin your life for her. Shook, just shook. No, Tomie gets no empathy. Tomie's life doesn't mean or matter anything to anyone. And it just because you hate the girl doesn't mean that this is okay. But this is how they maneuvered. They were just like, well, oh well, whoops, whoop-de-doo. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around it. Because in no way, shape, or form is this okay to just be like, even if you hated the girl, that's not normal. Something wrong. And the fact that it wasn't just one person. All of them were in agreement. They all agreed. Whoop-de-doo. I don't understand it. All of human decency. All of it. All of it. Just out the window. Just gone. Just not there anymore. If it ever was. I'm getting mad. Because nothing this girl could have ever done would have made this okay. And in the beginning, we find out she's a victim. She was being abused and taken advantage of by that teacher. This girl did not deserve that, but everyone believed she did. Even if you hated her, she didn't deserve that, and I don't understand how they came to that conclusion. The math is not mathing for me, but it gets worse. They all agree that it's better without her here. And then the teacher gathers all the male students and asks them to strip down to their undies and proceeds to coach them on how to, I don't even know if I can say this on YouTube, Tomie up into pieces. Into pieces. Don't call the ambulance. Don't call the cops. Don't tell anyone. Don't get help. Don't tell her family. No. Prepare to this girl up into pieces. My head hurt trying to understand, how did we get here? It gets worse. Like, even being bratty, even being mean, even being straight up biatch does not justify means. It is beyond me.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
She wakes up to them, her up, and she says it hurts. Do you know what they do next? Do you know what the teacher instructs them to do next and what they obey? To finish the job, she's up, coherent, awake, saying, "You're hurting me." You know what they do? Deliberately this time. First time, I guess you can argue it was an accident. They deliberately, that girl. I'm just like, what type of soulless creatures are these parading around as people? Because this is unreal to me. What is this? I'm getting mad. This is why I haven't watched the second episode yet, because this is so wrong. And they keep escalating how wrong it gets. They decided to finish her. And continue to TOMIE into pieces. The teacher gives everyone a part. Every single student has to take a part home and hide it. And this is what he's telling them to do during their field trip. To take a piece home and hide it where they think nobody would ever find it. And he instructs the boys to go wash off in the lake and put their clothes back on. I have so many questions about this so-called teacher. He should never be around children. What is his background? What did he do? How does he know this? Is this his first time doing this? I don't think so. Oh yeah, and I forgot to include that she did fight to try and get them off her. And they forced her down against her will, and I don't even know what to say. Like, what the? Try not to cuss on YouTube. And then the boy that likes her after the teacher assigned them all pieces to take home has her head. And he's sad and remorse, holding the head like, "Tomie." I was so deeply disturbed. I'm like, I don't remember this being this bad. But it was really bad. Really, really bad. And it's like, so bad that we need a psychoanalysis. And this is a fictional show. But what do you call that behavior, that mindset? What is that? That would never be okay. Don't care if you hate the girl's guts, you hate her down. After the episode, I just really needed some time, like, and again, this is a fictional show, a horror anime, but I do believe that there are people with this sick mindset out there that would do things like this that seem normal. They seem fine. They may even seem sweet or charming. But they're capable of this. And we can also argue that everyone is capable of bad things, and it's the choices. You choose to do the right thing. And in this case, nobody, not one single soul, chose to do the right thing. They obeyed and they complied to this evil, wicked deed, and continues to try and cover it and act like nothing happened. And I also wonder, did she really, when she fell, or did they just assume? But this is a horror anime. It gets spooky, it gets weird. Did she come back to life? Or did she actually, just not the first time? Questions. I don't know. Another thing, for all the students to hate her this much and just be happy that she's just, and everybody's like, whoop-de-doo, oh well, I don't care. Life is better without her anyway. What type of sick hatred is this? Weird animosity is this? And it's been held in for years. Probably went to school with these kids for years. Hated her guts for years. And everybody's just like, oh well. Who cares? Whoop-de-doo. Do you know what a moral compass is? Can you spell the word morals? Have you ever heard of it? Do you know what a soul is? Do you have one of those? I don't think so. And it just be parading around like normal until something horrible happens. And everybody's just like, do. Oh well. Da-di-da-di-da. And then even having a certain level of empathy to the point where, God forbid, that was you. Like that, putting yourself in that person's shoes, that's horrible, that's wrong. No empathy at all whatsoever. Nobody cared but the boy that had a crush on her. And he was mad because he wasn't having his way. She didn't like him back. She wasn't giving him attention. She was dealing with, unfortunately, the teacher. And he felt away. She's a victim, being taken advantage of and abused. She's a villain. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand, and it makes me angry. Like, what do you call this? And if any psychologists are watching this or seen Junji Ito collection and you watch Tomie's episode, I would love for you to drop a video about a psychoanalysis on this type of behavior, because what is this? I would love to hear a professional's opinion. I was shook. I'm still shook. Like, what? Huh? You mean to tell me they did all that without a care in the world? And it's not even just a care in the world. They felt justified. How? Nothing could justify that. And then again with this teacher having his own vendetta because she told him that she was preggers. And he's trying to get rid of any evidence of his wrongdoing. And if that means erasing the girl, he was gonna do it. He did it. And just how sick and ugly that is. First of all, you had no business doing that in the first place. And I also think their laws are different. This is a Japanese anime. The laws are different when it comes to age and things of that sort. But I'm speaking from my perspective. In America, that's statutory rape. Statutory rape. You can't do that. It's weird and it's sick. And after the teacher rounded everybody up, told them to hide the pieces to the best of their ability, and that class was dismissed. And they just carried on like nothing happened. Only 2 students felt bad. The boy that liked her and another girl. Nobody had anything to say. Nobody had any rebuttals. Nobody said this is crazy. Nobody yelled at the teacher. Nobody yelled. Nobody was frustrated, upset, confused. Everybody was just like, okay. My head hurts. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. I don't get it. I don't get it. And even if students felt like they were powerless, like they were put in a bad position where they couldn't say anything, at least showing some disdain, some anger, like, I hate this, this is wrong, I don't want to be a part of this, nothing. Nothing. Nobody questioned anything. They stood quiet, they obeyed, and went about their life. Only 2 students felt bad out of what? 42? 42 kids, because that's how many pieces they gave out. So each student can hide it. Something's wrong. And it's not just one person, it's a whole collective. They all think the same way, and it's not right. And a lot of people like to argue, well, if the whole group is saying this, then they gotta be right, right? No! Especially in situations like this when there's a whole group of people who are sick in the head and they all think the sick same way and they all do the same sick I'm trying not to cuss on YouTube. I'm trying to do the same sick-ish. And they do it as a group. That they're just right automatically because they're in a group. No! Something's wrong with all of them. Every single one of them has issues. And come to find out, the other students found out about the two students that felt bad and decided to try and reprimand them, try and bully them, scare them into hiding the truth. And they were willing to shed more blood to keep it a secret. And this is where I start questioning, like, were they ever mentally sound to be able to just do this so easily? And they probably were exhibiting normal behaviors beforehand, and then something wicked and crazy like this happens and you see what they decide to do. And I'm like, where's your head at? And they hated Tomie, and they thought it was justified. But those two other students were their friends, and they were willing to turn on them and them to keep their secret. I was like, were you always this monster? When did this develop? When did it start? Did it start during the situation? Before the situation? Did a bloodlust begin? What happened? And it's just seeing how evil people are capable of being. It's ugly. It's disgusting. And they're wrong because they have remorse in their heart and they feel bad. And you think that they deserve to be unalive because they feel bad about the horrible thing that they did. I don't understand that. Empathy is wrong. Excuse me? What they did to Tomie was bad enough. But they're gonna make more victims if they attempted to. So the whole group of students, I guess 40 out of the 42, because there were only 2 students that felt bad, they surrounded the 2 students. They hunted them down, found them, and backed them into an alley outside. And one of the boys said, "We did this for you," to the boy that had a crush on Tomie that pushed her ultimately. So we did this for you. Hold on. No, you didn't, because you could have just let him face the consequences of his actions. Nobody told you to do all this. That was crazy. And number 2, you hated Tomie. You didn't do this for him. You're just trying to guilt trip him. You did this for you, for your own sick, weird desire. You see how manipulative, especially emotionally manipulative that was? Trying to make him seem like, I'm a savior. I helped save your future. No, you didn't. And the fact that he's even trying to spin that while threatening to, because he feels bad and they think that they may tell. How did you save his future and then ultimately save his life if you're threatening to, end it? Giving me a headache. Who thinks like this? Who behaves like this? No. And not only are they threatening the boy, they plan on attacking him and the other student who was a girl. I believe she was Tomie's friend. Maybe not, or she just felt remorse. I'm not sure. But yeah, they go to lunge at the boy first with a and everything stops because Tomie arrives. She's like, "Hi everyone." And it's so awkward, disarming, and alarming. Especially how casual and calm she is. This is what's making them so uncomfortable because they know what they did. It's like, how are you not angry, distraught, freaking out, seeking revenge? How are you not bugging out right now? She's like, "Hi, what you doing?" And that's how that episode ends. Bear with me, I'm gonna need some gusto to watch episode 2. And I have a strong stomach. I like horror. But this messed my head up. Real bad. Made a spin. Like an owl. I sat in silence for a while after that episode because what did I just watch? Why did they feel like it was okay to do that to Tomie? And then to escalate the behavior and do even more. And this sick teacher, so what's up with that? That dude needs to be under the jail. For good. Far away from children, never near children. And those students need a psych eval. They not right. Teacher's not right. This wasn't right. This was so wrong on so many levels. I was in shock of how bad it could get. And through all of that, Tomie arrives as her pretty little dainty self. Like, "Hi, what you doing?" Nothing happens. And she's leaking blood from one eye. Crying blood. And that's how the episode ends. I know. I'm gonna talk about episode 2 soon. And hairstyle, look today, I've been rocking for a minute. This is inspired by Tomie. Got the bayang. She didn't have a bob, but I like a bob. So, yeah, I have the bob. But the bayang, the headband, yeah, it's inspired by Tomie. And I don't know really how I feel about Tomie as a character. I do see her as a victim. I do. I don't know, I feel like I feel for Tomie. I feel like this was wrong. They tell me I didn't deserve this. On so many levels, and like seeing how nobody had empathy, nobody cared what horrible, out of this world, wicked things people did to this girl. Nobody cared at all. It was like, oh well, I don't care. Oh well, whoop-de-doo. Don't matter. I feel no ways. I'm indifferent. Didn't bat an eyelash. It's crazy. It's crazy. But people can be monstrous. And people could also be really good. It was just the fact that this episode showed a really, really dark side of human nature. And I don't know. I think we need a professional to analyze what this is. This is crazy. And then even for the students, now they're turned out and they're cold-blooded, unalivers now. It just started a streak. What causes people to be like this and do these things? And I feel like part of the reason why they didn't feel bad is they felt justified. They hated TOMIE. It's like, it don't matter if you hate the girl. This isn't okay. And it will never be okay no matter how much you hate the girl. This was weird. It was sick. And it wasn't even just like this tragedy, like, oh my god, this is TOMIE. Nobody knows what happened to her. She's just a sad, sad girl. No, she's still here. After all that, she's still here. And it's not even like they could just bury their issue and what they did and just hide it away somewhere. No. The evidence of what you did is living, breathing, talking, and walking around like normal. And they walked around and pretended like they didn't do anything. And to see her walking around and pretending like nothing happened, I just know it messes with their brain so bad. Because they know what they did. They know what they did. I don't know. I'm just going to keep talking about this episode if I don't stop this here. So yeah, I'm going to do a part 2 about episode 13B, the second episode with TOMIE. And yeah, that's it for today. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. And I'm going to see you soon.